92.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. This promo runs from May 1st to July 30th. Hurry now.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
Natural Prince.
And while the conversation continues, this is your radio experience you can count on. This morning we're talking about the role of an active citizen in entrenching our democracy. Well, the active citizen as well as the media. People have said over time that the media doesn't hold government accountable enough. The media doesn't do this, doesn't do that. This morning we will be x-raying the roles that even the ordinary Nigerian has to play in ensuring that our democracy is, strengthening. Now, who's an active citizen? An active citizen or active citizenship means that people get involved in their local communities and democracy at all levels. Okay, and that means that if you live in Kuje, if you live in Kubwa, you're participating in the activities in those communities. You're contributing to the development of that community in any little way. And it's not just a personal contribution. It's not just, taking care of yourself and your family. It's about you being a part of something bigger than yourself. Okay? Whether it is about, educating young people about democracy and the values of democracy, if it's about participating in skill development or acquisition and all that stuff, that's you contributing or sharing and to develop your community. That's what active citizenship is, okay? You come out to participate in what we call sanitation. That's being active and improving your community and ensuring that people also enjoy that community or society that you live in, okay? And how do you do this? We'll be talking about all of that this morning with my guest, Dr. Chido Onima, who is a trained journalist. He's also a rights activist. He is a trained journalist who has also gone on to train other Nigerians or other people. He's trained other journalists in countries like Ghana, Canada, India, US, the Caribbean, and Europe. He's also trained a lot of people in Nigeria, and I hope that he adopts me as one of his mentees too. Dr. Chido, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, so as we get into the conversation, it would be good to first understand what who an active citizen is, or what active citizenship is. Can you help us understand what active citizenship is, and so we can pick up the conversation from there?
Yeah, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be on the show. Well, the whole essence of governance, of society, of state, of law and order is about the role of citizens. It's citizens who form the bedrock of any society. And it's the quality of citizenship you have that determines the kind of society you have. Where you have those citizens who do not question the government, who do not care about good governance and accountability.
Dr. Chido, are you there?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, okay. So I was saying that the whole essence of citizenship, or directly to the question you asked, active citizenship, it's about the sustenance of any country. Citizens are the people who make up a society, a nation. Without active citizens, then you more or less have a dead society. You have to have people who are interested in the politics, who are interested in social issues, welfare issues, not just about daily survival as individuals. If you do not have citizens who are active in the political process, for example, then you end up having all kinds of useless leaders lead the country. You have to have citizens who have basic knowledge of civics, who understand how governance runs, who understands issues of accountability, welfare of citizen, education, health, so that they can then hold their governments to account. So the essence of being a citizen is to be involved. That's all. Citizenship is not just being a part of a country and having the passport or living in a particular country. You have to have interest in that society. You have to be involved in the process.
Now, speaking of having interest in participating in the country and also holding government accountable as a citizen, people have said over time, we hear this statement over time that, you know, the highest office in the land is the office of the citizen and this and that, and that the rights of the citizen has to be protected at all costs. But in a situation where it seems like the Nigerian society is one that has majority of its people ill-informed of their rights, and then you also have a situation where government takes advantage of this level of ignorance on the part of citizens. How can we begin to tackle this as a country to get people aware of their civil rights and how they can go about holding government accountable?
There are multiple ways, and you're right when you talk about the office of the citizen being the highest office in the land. In our own case, the reverse is what we experienced, whereby our leaders have become lords and the citizens have become slaves, which shouldn't be. In other places, those who are elected by citizens actually serve those citizens, and they could be recalled by citizens. It's tragic, but that's the situation we found ourselves. So, in answering your question, there are two dimensions to this. One is the duty and responsibility of the state. So the state has its duty and responsibility, whether in terms of providing education for citizens. Growing up as a young man in school, we were taught civics, something likened to understanding the history, the politics of Nigeria. And once you taught that, you could then ask questions. Well, why did this happen? Why was this like this? Why did this government act this way? Those things don't exist anymore. And we could go on and on about that. Then on the other hand, you also have citizens, which is a bit problematic, because then when citizens are not conscious, when they are not educated, it's difficult for them to be involved, to ask questions. But having said that, nothing stops citizens to get involved. There are a lot of things NGOs, the media, and other civil society groups are doing to get citizens involved. Citizens have the ability. It's only the interest that is lacking more often than not. We need to raise that interest to say, if government is not doing its part, how can we as citizens then learn about our country? The other thing I need to emphasize is it's not just about being active or being involved. You need to understand, you need to learn first. So if you take an average university graduate in Nigeria today, if you line up 100 university graduates, and from any discipline, including history, the arts, and social sciences, and you ask them to name the leaders of this country from 1959, 1960. We had Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa in 1969 into independence in 1960. If you ask an average graduate today who is maybe between the ages of 20, 21, 22 to 25, to name the leaders of this country from independence until now, 98, if I'm not exaggerating, % of them are likely not to. And I've done this test, even with journalists, young journalists, the young graduates who are journalists. I say, can you just name the 16 or so leaders of this country since independence? And they'll stutter. They will tell, oh, this Zeke, they'll mix everything up. sick. Some people add Awolowo to the mix and all of that. Then you then begin to wonder, if you don't even have basic knowledge of the history and politics of this country, then how do you intervene? How do you get involved? So we need to do a lot of education. We need to do a lot of orientation. The National Orientation Agency has an important role to play. Again, going back to growing up many years ago, we used to have all these pamphlets, little booklets that showed this. So it was handy. Every young person in primary and secondary school had it. It's something you could play with over. You'll be having lunch or dinner with your family, or even among friends. You'll be teasing each other. Okay, name we used to know all the state capitals, the governors or military administrators, then the capitals of the states in Africa, the countries in Africa, their presidents and all of that. That kind of intervention is no longer available to young people these days. And if you don't know, what then are you going to do? How are you going to intervene? How are you going to act? So it's a combination of factors in terms of learning, educating, and then getting involved.
Interesting. I like the angle you brought in with the basic history of the country. But let's talk about, the media now. People criticize the media and say, well, maybe rightly so, that the media hasn't done so much to educate Nigerians and empower Nigerians, and the media itself is losing its voice by the day. You have situations where, there's regulation that's gagging the media as well, especially when it comes to holding governments accountable. What can be done? We saw a situation recently where a journalist sued the NBC, and the courts nullified the NBC, 6th edition of the NBC Code. With all of this that's happening, a situation where even the people do not have confidence in the media, which is supposed to be the fourth estate of the realm, protecting their interests. What kind of society would we have?
Well, it's challenging, unfortunately, but I think, and I had that.
Okay, the network has started what it does, sadly. Let's hope that we can reconnect with Dr. Onuma Chido, who's joining us in the conversation this morning. Before we reconnect with him, let's bring in a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alfred.
Good morning, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm good. This network must come back.
Somehow, I seem not to want to blame the network providers anymore, because considering the cost of running businesses and diesel, which these most towers use, so I don't know. I don't want to blame them so much.
We think, my friends, this is part of the responsibility, somebody's responsibility, which is failing. So how can we know their own responsibility? Because they are mixed up. Now, when you look at this citizen responsibility, I want to say something here. You see, most of the failures of governance make some responsibility of government turn out to be like citizen responsibility.
Okay.
So we make a lot of things because of the kind of things we do in the society that ideally should be government responsibility. So in my own community, I would, as a person, I know what I'm supposed to do. Promote peaceful coexistence, promote brotherhood, to participate in all the policy formulation of government, help the agencies, especially those who the law enforcement agencies, with information that pertains to insecurity. So those are the things that as citizens we are supposed to know, participate in all the electoral processes. Now, over time, we take up responsibilities that are not ordinary should be ours. Like, take for instance, this is NEPA. In my own house, I bought the post, I bought the cables, my neighbors bought the transformers, and the NEPA people came to connect, and we paid them connection, and then they came to commission it. Are you seeing the mix of things? And then at the end of the day, when you look, the one government start calling on citizens to start bearing arms, it's supposed to be their responsibility because they took the oath to protect the lives and properties of the citizens. But right now they are calling on the citizens to take up arms and protect themselves. That is failure of government. And then we are seeing it as a right. We are seeing it as our own responsibility. Meanwhile, we are not supposed to give the intelligence report or we are supposed to give the information concerning any illegal activities around us. So there's a mixed up and there's a disconnect. That's why you see Nigerians don't really bother about like what the doctor said. Nigerian woke up, he's only to get food that week. If you ask him who was the first president, who was the prime minister, who answer you that kind of thing? Who has that one in his brain because of the harsh environment that we are in? So there are a lot of things that are mixed up. If it was like on a Senate time, and then we have good governance, people will hold response, people will hold their leaders, they will match the dividends of democracy or achievement of leaders to their own regime. And then, like if you ask me now, since the resumption of the coming back of this democracy, I would say I remember Yaradua, I remember even Obasanjo, Jonathan, I would remember all those people. Now, coming to this, everything has been spoiled because of the bad governance that we have. You don't remember everything concerning these people because of bad leadership. So my friend, there's a lot of mix-ups. Doctor is supposed to, you have to have mental on us. It's not our problem. Even the journalist, it's a political environment. My friend, it's a political environment. A politician can pay anybody, pay any journalist to write anything in his favor because of hunger in the land. It's a deliberate thing. So we will need to know there are still good people that keep to the ethics of the practices. So we have to also look at that holistically.
All right.
Now we can have a solution. Honestly, good leadership is bad in this country before all these things can come up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for calling in. You two can be a part of the conversation. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can also send me SMS and WhatsApp on 090-9705-4450. All right, send me SMS and WhatsApp messages on that number. You can also get on our socials and watch, get on YouTube and on Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja and be a part of the conversation. I'll bring in another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother there.
Good morning, Daddy Joe. Good to have you.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, at times, like I said now, you can imagine I just forgot your name. You understand? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Daddy Joe, we're with you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just forgot your name. Not because of anything, but because I'm overwhelmed by the problems of Nigeria. Somebody who's in the U.S. is proud to call himself an American citizen. That is because wherever they are in the part of the world, if there's any problem, the government will see it as their responsibility to go and evacuate their citizens. You understand? That is to let you know the way they are. Here in back home now, if something happens, you say, go and talk to the police. You see Nigerians police, okay, I will try. So it is because these Nigerians are really trying. They are doing their best. Who is ready to give information now about criminals? You go and give the information, the people you are giving that information to will turn around to say this is the person that gives us such information. So, in the long run, it is called that Nigerians are just, as a matter of fact, let me let you know, Nigerians are the best set of human beings all over the world. We are very resilient people, we are ready to work, we are ready to help the government. But unfortunately, the very few people we have in governance have messed up everything over time. I really believe that way back in the 60s to early 80s, we had better governance than what we have today we call democracy. So I think it has to do with bad leadership. The moment we get these things corrected, Nigerians will definitely help the government and will have one of the best countries in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daddy Joe, for your input. Now, Dr. Chido, we're glad to have you back with us. Now, let's look at some of the thoughts of our callers. Paul has said, well, in a situation where government kind of transfers its responsibilities to the citizens, what do we get? In a situation like where the citizens provide themselves with almost everything, electricity, potable water, they provide themselves with even roads, and now some state governments are asking their citizens to protect themselves. What kind of community, or what else should we be demanding of the Nigerian citizen?
Hello. Well, if I got you right, you're asking in a situation where government abdicates its responsibility.
Absolutely.
What should be done? Again, that's part of our sad story. The government has a duty and responsibility to citizens. Where it fails in that, citizens then have a responsibility to ask questions, to push for things to be done properly, to do advocacy around those issues. And we've had tremendous success, whether it's in the electoral reform, whether it's on environmental issues, whether it's on abuse of human rights. It's a gradual process, it's incremental, but we'll continue to make progress every day. The important thing is the awareness and consciousness on the part of that they have a right, but not just that they have a right, they have the power. The power is in their hands, and they can use this power in different ways, whether during elections, for example, to change government, whether it's protesting, going to the streets to push for certain specific demands on specific issues, women's rights, children's rights, and so on. The critical thing, when people have that knowledge, when people have that awareness, half of the problem is solved. That's when they realize that they have that power to bring about change. You can expect that the government, which is the nature of governments everywhere, because governments they are not run by angels or spirits, they are run by people like us. They are run by human beings, and they are prone to all kinds of errors, some conscious, some unconscious, some deliberate, some not. So citizens, once we empower citizens, and we need to start this at a very early stage in the development of individuals. Not many people. I remember even as an undergraduate at the University of Calabar many years ago, we used to protest all kinds of issues on campus, and there were students also on campus who would engage in counter-protest for their own purely personal interest. Today, you still have that situation. Look at what happened with NSAS, where some young people were protesting bad governance and police brutality. You had a situation where there were other young people who, even though they were in a minority, but at least it did happen. Some would point that, again, it was the state that engineered some of this process, but that the fact that young people are suffering, and then the state is still able to convince them or to bribe them into engaging in counter-protest, just tells you the amount of work we need to do as individual citizens, as groups, as organizations, as media, and so on. So citizens can do a lot. It depends on how well organized we are as the people.
Very well. The conversation continues in a bit. We'll be talking about the illiteracy level. We'll also be talking about, you mentioned the recall. We should be talking about that because it seems like some Nigerians don't even know that they have powers to recall their leaders and representatives. As it is, we just wait for 4 years or 8 years, as the case may be, to vote out or vote in new people. We'll be talking about all of that. Stay with us. My guest this morning is Dr. Chido Onuma, who is a trained journalist as well as a rights activist. Is going to be joining us again. We'll continue the conversation shortly. Keep it with us.
2.3.
The sun's up and so should your radio. Tune in to the sunny side on Eagles 102.3 FM. Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Oh my God! Seriously?
The Sun is High Show. The Sun is High Show.
Don't worry, it's not Corona.
Let's talk service. Let's talk funding. Let's talk entrepreneurship. On The Entrepreneur, we explore industries, businesses, changemakers, and more. Join the conversation weekdays, Monday to Thursday, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
Break it down.
Back to the music in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Get the show on the road.
Back to some more music. Right here. Check it out right here.
Time to break it down now. Break it down.
Eagles 102.3.
Get updates, get informed, avoid traffic, and get home early. Tune into Traffic Rush weekdays 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
Make some noise. One more time.
Hey, yo, what's up? Yo, it's the Kid 50 Cent.
Hey, what up? This Chris Brown.
What's up, y'all? This is Eminem.
Yeah, what the deal? This is Nas.
You're listening.
102.3 Eagles FM.
Eagles.
Yeah, that's us.
Cause we play this.
I'll be on Zumba. I know they don't want me the money to come my
102.3.
More 90s on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Long weekend.
At last.
Spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins.
Who's ready for winter? Woo! Nobody? Me either.
102.3.
Eagles 102.3.
Eagles.
Follow us on Instagram.
Sounds like this.
Eagles 102.3.
The hits for your drive home.
Eagles 102.3.
All your favorite music.
I listen non-stop.
All my favorite music. I listen every day. This is the home.
Eagles.
More variety.
102.3.
Your station for today's R&B and old school.
Non-stop hits.
Eagles 102.3.
Abuja.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Radio is an experience. Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja.
The number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
Don't even know what the day is. So weekend.
Eagles 102.3.
Giving the gift of hit music.
Yeah! Let's go!
This is Justin Bieber and Mariah Carey.
Eagles 102.3. Abuja.
Girl, get it! You get me going.
All day.
All day. All day.
On Eagles 102.3. Abuja.
We all need that friend who is our unpaid therapist that we yearn to talk to every day. Look no further.
Call me up, talk to me about your day. I'm right here and I am listening to you.
We are going to celebrate our new baby girl. My day was not that very okay because of...
Join Kemi Michael on A Couple for Your Thoughts every weekday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Hanging out with friends is such a hobby, but
chilling with your girlfriend? Such a boaster. We talk about love, family, relationship, the shady.
Sorry, it's not that serious. Create a word from another word using the last alphabet of the same word. That's how the game goes. You will get buzzed out if you pause, repeat, or say the same word again and again. Buzz out. Tuesdays at 1 p.m. on 102.3 Extra on Eagles FM.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
Prince. And it's Eagles Outlook right here on your radio experience you can count on. This morning we're talking about the role of an active citizen and that of the media in entrenching our democracy. My guest today is Dr. Chido Onuma, who is a journalist, author, and rights activist. And he's worked over 20 years in journalism and rights activism. He's also a media trainer. He's joining us and sharing thoughts with us this morning on the program. You too can be a part of it. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can send me messages, SMS and WhatsApp on 090-9705-4450. All right, Dr. Onuma, thank you again for staying with us. Before we took that pause, you were talking about you mentioned the recall and protest as one of the rights of citizens to also try to hold the governments accountable. The NLC has recently declared a protest in solidarity with ASU for the prolonged strike. And already it seems like that protest is not going to hold. And at this point, the Nigerian voices continue to, to shrink because even activism is a problem. When people can no longer protest, people cannot even speak freely on the media. It just seems like they don't have the powers are being taken from them completely. What can we do to restore the power of the people when it comes to holding government accountable?
Well, I don't think, and I don't want us to be pessimistic about this issue. The fact that we don't succeed doesn't mean we should not try and keep trying, as the saying goes. But I don't even want to say we are not succeeding. We've made tremendous efforts in terms of advocacy. I've been in this thing for in my fourth decade now, starting from even my secondary school days through my university days in Calabar, through my professional days as a journalist and later as a civil society activist. Where we are today wasn't where we are 30, 40 years ago. We know the struggles we embarked upon. We know the efforts we made in terms of, and this happened across the length and breadth of this country.
But Dr. Onuma, it seems like even in the back of the day, because I remember that, protests and all of these things were going on even in the military era. Now we're in a democracy and people can no longer protest. Would you say that's an improvement from where we were?
Yeah, well, when you say protest, the fact that people are not necessarily lining the street doesn't mean that people are not active or they are not protesting. Just sometime last week, we had a Zoom. You also should understand the dynamics, how society has changed over time, the poverty, impoverization of citizens, the disunity of the efforts by the current regime, for example, to break the ranks of Nigerians, to exacerbate our ethnic differences and fault lines and all of that. But more than anything else, I mean, you see what's happening with elections, first in Ekiti and recently in Osun State. Citizens you pay people as little as 4,000 naira to be able to buy their vote. And you ask yourself, that means the person is taking 1,000 naira per year for the next 4 years that the governor, the senator, or the House of Rep member being paid. In the last decade or so, particularly in the last 7.5 years of the current administration, the country today we regarded as the poverty capital of the world. You find a situation where people wake up every morning. It's about how to put food on the table. It's where they are going to get the next meal. Infrastructure has decayed so badly, and you alluded to the fact that it used to be that way, but it was something that was just exclusive of the super rich. Today, even the ordinary gate man has to find a way to get his own water, to generate his own electricity. So it's a real terrible time for Nigerians, between the poverty, the security situation, the dislocation generally. People can't even move out because you don't know what to expect. Are you talking about kidnapping? Are you talking about banditry? Are you talking about terrorists and so on? So all of these factors are leading us to rethink either the way we protest or the way it's leading us to re-strategize the way we do things in terms of our government.
Hello, Dr. Chido. Seems like the network again has struck. Dr. Chido, are you there? Can you hear us? All right, let's read the message from David. And David says, "Hi, Prince. I've said it on this platform severally that the duty of any government is to provide its citizens with social amenities like water, electricity, road, and security. As an active citizen, you have done your part to elect the leader of your choice, and the leaders happen not to do all of these things. Who then do you blame? The citizens that are not obeying the traffic rules, whereas the leaders themselves are not obeying the traffic rules. The citizens that doesn't respect the rule of law, whereas the leaders that enacted these laws are not obedient to the law. Citizens will protest for good governance, or protest for good governance, and the leaders will shoot at the protesters for protesting against their rights. I believe the real problem is the leaders. It's called leadership by example. Practice what you preach, and the country will be better. Will be a better place to stay. God bless Nigeria." David, appreciate your message. Good morning. Good one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to try to reconnect with Dr. Chido so we can wrap this conversation up quickly. You can be a part of the conversation yourself. Call 09073530044 and 09087668888. A lot of the callers have said, well, Nigerians are trying. The Nigerian citizen is one that should be applauded for what they go through and what they take, the things that they really just overlook as Nigerians as very resilient. Daddy Joe was talking about how Nigerians are very resilient people, and that, you know, we're willing to do anything, to just take anything. And so it just seems like government can do whatever they want and just get away with it because Nigerians just want the basic things. If they're able to get the basic things, they won't even worry. Okay, seems like the network is completely shut down now because we can't even connect. But what can we do? These things just happen all the time. We can't even blame anybody now. We can't blame the network operators or the service providers because cost of doing business is something else in the country. What can we do as Nigerians? If aero contractors could be shutting down operations in the country, well, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Trying to reconnect with Dr. Chido so we can wrap this up, and it's becoming almost impossible with the no network registration. That's really sad. Okay, I got voice notes here. I hope that these voice notes are for us. If they're not, let's find out.
Good morning, Father Joe. How is work?
Work is great, thank you very much.
I've gone on to the extent that we don't even know who to complain to. I hope you remember that I do say it, that even the media have been shut down indirectly by this administration because they bring a kind of this thing. They say when you talk, you become hate speech, and everybody is afraid of being involved. The method is difficult for all that we cannot easily speak. When we are speaking, we choose our words to avoid us being in trouble. And those things are now shocking us. When you say that media have been closed down, it's not a lie. We know. All of us are seeing it. But even we that are calling on radio sometimes cannot even air our view the way we want it, because we are afraid of being attacked by anybody. You see, things are going down. Things are going down really. From Udokama. Look at me. In my area, we bought transformer. The NEPA enjoying the money they collect from us, and even up to now, when the transformer got spoiled, we have to buy another one, and they keep on collecting money. What are we paying? What are we paying for? We are paying for the darkness. Are we paying for the service they are giving to us? Look at in Otako market here, NEPA staff came to collect money, and they said we should also add to 200 naira for maintenance. And I asked the question, what are they maintaining? So there is problem everywhere.
Quite interesting. Problem everywhere, like you said. Udokama, thank you very much for that one. Appreciate it. Let's see. Let's hope that we can reconnect with Dr. Chido so that we can just close the conversation right here and now, because we're really running out of time. And let's see. Let's take his final thoughts on the program this morning. All right, we've been talking about the role of an active citizen and that of the media in entrenching democracy in a country like Nigeria. And my guest has been Dr. Chido Onuma, a journalist and author and rights activist. Well, we've been having that conversation, and it's been quite an interesting one, quite revealing. And, well, we hope that things just work out completely for us as Nigerians. Things work out and things are better. I'm going to try one more time, and if we can get across to Dr. Chido, then we would have to close it now because our clock is already in the ceiling. All right. Well, I'll take one more call as we close it, if we can. Squeeze in one more. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can send me SMS and WhatsApp messages on 090-9705-4450. And that would be it. It's quite unfortunate we can't reconnect with Dr. Chido Onuma. Right, lost that one as well. It just seems like network issues. I mean, think about it. If diesel is sells for 1,000 naira per liter, and most of the cell towers that we have are running mostly on, on diesel, how can these businesses survive? I'm just going to close it now. But as Nigerians, it behooves you and I, as we draw closer and closer, as we inch closer to the 2023 election, to make that decisive choice, to elect leaders who can be accountable to you, who have the credibility and integrity, who believe in the Nigerian cause, and who do not just believe in taking monies and blessing themselves. If you allow me to use those words, people who would not take Nigerian money and put them in their pockets and that of their friends and cronies. Those who would work for you and make Nigeria a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I drop the anchors. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Chido Onuma for being a part of the conversation, even if we couldn't really close it because of what it is. Service feeling all across board. But thank you again to everyone who's been a part of it. Those of you who called in and sent in messages and sent also voice notes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. We'll continue the conversation tomorrow, hopefully. By the way, get onto our socials at Eagles FM Abuja at Eagles FM Abuja on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and every other platform, even on YouTube. You can go back. If you missed any part of the program, go on YouTube and watch for yourself. It would be good. All right? You can follow yours truly as well at Ihia Natural Prince. Let's be friends and take this relationship to another level. Keep it here. My name is Ihia Natural Prince. Big shout out to Funshaw and Aku for putting us in pictures this morning. Keep it here. Business news is up next.
Yes, fun, juicy, messy gossip in town. And the gentlemen aren't off the table. Girlfriends with Oli J, Mondays and Fridays at 1 p.m.
Here is the business news beat. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission on Monday announced that power distribution companies collected a total revenue of 193.53 billion naira from consumers across the country in the third quarter of 2021. Power supply in Nigeria has remained unstable since the sector was privatized in 2013, as millions of consumers have repeatedly complained of poor state of power supply and blackouts nationwide. However, in its just released third quarter 2021 report, the power sector regulator stated that 11 electricity distribution companies raked in over 193 billion naira during a 3-month period. Commenting on the collection efficiency by the discos, the Commission said the total revenue collected by all discos in the third quarter of last year was 193.53 billion naira out of the 273 billion naira billed to consumers. This represents a collection efficiency of 70.89% as compared to 68.89% recorded in 2021 in the second quarter of 2021. On market remittance, the NERC stated that the combined market operator invoice and Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC's market remittance order adjusted invoice to discos in third quarter of 2021 was 208.54 billion naira for energy and administrative services.